Okay, everyone, there it is. This is the final Tomahawk. I was borderline offended that no one watched, not no one, but very few people watched the Tomahawk sort of testing video that we put out with me and Nate Summers. When I say testing, Nate did 95% of the work because we had a very long day filming that day, and once I saw that he was sweating profusely trying to hack through a car with a Tomahawk, I was like, get it, girl, like, just, you know, go do your thing. I'll work later today. But so anyway, just a bit of a recap on this, because now we do have a final Hawk here. This came about from Jack Carr's The Terminal List. Actually, I was listening to the book because I can't read good, and so I was listening to the book in my car, and there's a great Tomahawk scene in the, by the way, that's a joke about not being able to read, just so you guys don't totally lose your shit in the comments. But I'm listening to the book in my car, and there's a great Tomahawk scene in The Terminal List, and when it was done, I pressed pause. I called up Nate Summers, who, those of you who have followed the channel or Instagram pages, stuff like that for a while, will know that Nate does blades for all of our 1911 Syndicate clients. It's kind of like a hallmark thing that we do for people. And just to clarify, clients, yes, real estate clients, just trying to keep that connection growing with you guys. So I call up Nate, who makes a bunch of blades for us, and just says, look, man, we got to make a Tomahawk. We have to do it. I just listened to this awesome thing, and I feel like maybe one day I could be James Reese, and I'm on the run, and I got to start marking people with Tomahawks, and so we need to make a Tomahawk. And it became a great excuse for us to get creative and think about what we would want in a Hawk, and then that's how we got to this point today. The first video that none of you watched, we took the prototype of this to a junkyard, and we wanted to see how it would do with a series of challenges. So obviously, you know, we just cut through some wood, basic stuff, rope, basic stuff. But then we got through a windshield just to see, hey, as a breaching tool, because this was primarily designed as more of a fighting style Tomahawk versus a dedicated breaching tool, but also wanted to be able to use it as a breaching tool. So we used both, really primarily the spike end to just get through a windshield and just literally cut a square in that thing so that we could rescue whatever Perfect 10 Instagram model is stranded on the side of the freeway. Okay. And by the way, if you think they're actually a Perfect 10, there's such a thing as filters, everyone, and sometimes it's a big letdown when you see your Instagram female heroes, you see them and you're like, ah, damn. So anyway, breaching tool, and then we actually cut through, again, Nate, cut through the roof of a truck with this thing, and that was pretty cool because then we found out it was 2-ply steel. So I mean, we cut through 2 layers of steel with this, both with the pointy end there on the spike, and then actually on the blade end as well. So just to give you kind of a recap of what this thing is, the bottlenecks that we found when we were doing that was the blade performed incredibly well, minus dulling some of the tips because they were going through metal. Literally the whole thing held up fine. Literally our only issue was the top portion of the grip, because it was wood going through jagged chunks of metal. The wood got a little bit frayed at the top, so we wanted to come up with a solution for that. So the final result of what you have here today is, I believe Nate is calling this the can opener, and just to create some, just, you know, so you kind of know my relationship to this whole thing. It's not really a collab project between Nate and 1911 Syndicate. It kind of is because we were in the design process, but it's really not. So I'm just saying that because, hey, if you go buy these things, I don't get any kickback. You're looking at my reward right there for being involved and filming and all that kind of stuff. But hey, if you guys buy these things, if you're in the comments and you're like, how do I buy one? Like, go to Nate Summers' page. We'll make sure we tag him, like probably here in the video and then down in the description. Send him a message. He's probably doing about 10 of these. So it's going to be a pretty limited run. And right now he's busy, so his books are closed. So just know, like, you know, get on it so that you can get one of these when the time is right. But so anyway, it's a full tang hawk. So the whole thing is one piece of steel versus some hawks that basically, hey, right up until that point is the actual blade, and then the rest of this is really not one full piece of steel. This, as you will see there, is one full piece of steel, so it's very strong, which is why it performs so well in the breaching test that we did. At the bottom, you've got a little glass breaker, I'll get there, which we tested against that truck and frankly performed quite well. So that can be used as a glass breaker. Again, full tank, so the full thing is one solid sheet of metal. I don't remember the grade steel. I know that's something I should know for this. Nate can comment down and let us know whatever XYZ steel that he used for this. Handles hickory. Obviously, we got some pins going through just to make sure that this grip is not going anywhere. So we got a nice hickory handle here, and we've got these little cutouts that are in the handle just to give it a little bit of grip, just so we have a little bit of texture and this thing isn't going anywhere. And then really the big change that we made to this since the initial testing was these basically metal bolsters that are here. Originally we were thinking maybe we'll do paracord in case they get frayed, that way we could replace it, but Nate ultimately came up with this, and to be honest, at first I was like, I don't know, that sounds like it's going to be kind of weird to me. Now seeing it in person and feeling it in terms of the weight and everything, I actually really like it. So basically it's adding some weight to the front end of the Hawk here. It still balances very well, right? It's going to find its center point like very well there because he balanced it out with additional holes down here to balance out this. So like the whole thing works, or actually took away some of the holes for extra pins down here. But anyway, so this is reinforced. That way that thing is not getting chewed up anytime soon. There's metal pins going through this. That way, again, that thing ain't going anywhere. And then obviously the whole thing's been coated, all that good stuff. The blade, just so you have a sense of kind of our philosophy behind this, was given that this is not really meant for chopping wood, it would chop wood. You know, he's got rhymes today, but it would chop wood, but it's really meant more as a battle axe breaching tool, something like that. So instead of having a traditional curved blade, which is our original thought, they're like, that's more of a camp axe. We want something that's a little bit more, do some damage. So we wanted a bit more of a point. That way when it meets whatever its intended target is, obviously that point is going to create a little bit of a start there where the rest of the blade can go through. This, in case you're wondering, is not crazy sharp. You could choke up on this. You're not going to get cut. It's more of a wedge. That way, if you sent the blade through it, you could, because of the nature of that wedge, start to drag that blade through windshield, which we did, or whatever else you're doing. That wedge, again, not sharp enough. It's going to cut you, so you could choke up and do some, fine woodwork or whatever it may be. It's not going to be the most comfortable thing in the world, but again, that's not going to cut me, but it is going to help wedge your way through some stuff. So we've got that, and then the backside with the spike, got a nice, it's not like a super sharp tip there, because again, that's just going to get dulled or break off more easily, but you do have something that you're not going to want to get hit with it. And then on the bottom edge of that spike and the top edge of that spike, again, you're catching that wedge, so the thing's going to be coming to a point like that, not sharp enough that it's going to cut you, but sharp enough that kind of in that can opener motion, if you needed to send that through metal, windshield, whatever it is, you can use that wedge to sort of pry your way free. So anyway, that's kind of a quick tour of this thing. It came out very, very cool. And again, this was a very selfish project of me, because I called up Nate and I was like, look, we got to do a Tomahawk, and I'll help. We'll come up with a design. We'll film some video, get some cool photos of it and everything. And you sell them. I don't want any part of that. I just want a fucking dope Tomahawk at the end of the day. So that's that. Check with Nate. I know they're going to be going for somewhere around $500. Again, contact him direct for all that. I'm not your Tomahawk salesman. I'm just here as the talent, as they say, right? So anyway, that's the Hawk. Hope you guys like it. I'm a big fan of it. And thanks, kids.